Jimmy's first major movie is based on the last third of John Steinbeck's novel, East of Eden. It is the story of a son trying to please his puritanical father, who constantly disapproves of him. The father is played by Raymond Massey, and the son by James Dean. Their uneasy union in the story is heightened by Dean and Massey's real-life relationship. Jimmy's use of profanity is not appreciated by the Oxford-educated Massey, who is both religious and conservative.
Story in Hollywood, everybody knows the famous Schwabadero. He looked like not an out-of-work actor, but a struggling young kid trying to make his way in the business. Well, I was invited to East of Eden. I didn't know anything about it. I couldn't even remember the name of it, and I was a little...
It was a role that was created for Jimmy, practically. They had probably no intention, but this was James Dean. It was as though you rewrote his biography. Same person, slightly different story.
As moviegoers line up in droves in a nightly ritual to see Hollywood's newest star, Jimmy has his own ritual. Unknown to his fans, Jimmy drives past the theater, gaping in amazement at the waiting lines. This is the only time that Jimmy gets to witness his success. He will not live long enough to see his other two pictures released.
I've been going around with my head in a sling for years.
For teenagers, the movie that immortalizes Jimmy is his second film, Rebel Without a Cause, which co-stars Natalie Wood and Sal Mineo. Jimmy plays the role of Jim Stark, a troubled teenager from a good family. His father is played by Jim Backus and his mother by Anne Duran. This is the first time that an actor portrays a teenager to whom teenagers themselves can relate. Cry from the relationship between father and son in Rebel. Stand up! The director of Rebel Without a Cause is Nicholas Ray, a socially conscious man whose heroes are frequently social rebels. It is easy for this director to like James Dean. Nicholas Ray gives Jimmy tremendous creative freedom, allowing him to improvise his lines and to develop his character as he sees fit. Ray also encourages Jimmy to help shape the movie itself. During the filming of Rebel, Jimmy buys himself a Porsche Speedster and enters the world of sports car racing. Winning a number of first-place trophies encourages him in his new passion. When George Barris joins the film to oversee the car stunts, he and Jimmy become friends.
I mean, he never drove like a daredevil. A daredevil to us in our stunt field is a guy that's a taboo because he doesn't consider other people.
One of the most wonderful pictures you'll ever see of him is after he's won that just comes right out of the picture and says, this is me, this is where I'm at.
Giant will be Jimmy's third and final movie. It is based on Edna Ferber's sprawling novel about two generations of Texans. Its director is George Stevens, a seasoned professional who takes great pride in creating visual authenticity. This time, Jimmy is not the star of the picture. Elizabeth Taylor and Rock Hudson are the stars. Jimmy plays the supporting role of Jet Rink, an ambitious ranch hand who becomes a multimillionaire when he strikes oil.
My welcome in, babe.
Jimmy's adversary on-screen becomes his adversary off-screen. Rock Hudson finds Jimmy's long preparations before a scene to be a waste of time. Hudson is also disturbed by Jimmy's ability to steal a scene, as he's doing here with his lariat.
I know that land ain't worth much, but then someday.
The story of Giant takes place over a period of 30 years. Along with the rest of the cast, Jimmy has to age progressively as the years go by. As Jet Rink, Jimmy ages to a man in his 50s. Not using any wigs, Jimmy has his own hair dyed gray and shaved back to give him a receding hairline. Physically, he ages so well that many do not recognize him. In Giant, Jimmy, as the drunken and aged Jet Rink, has grown old, something that will never happen to him in life. This banquet scene will be James Dean's final performance. Later it will come to be called The Last Supper.
To introduce a legend in his own time.
No one knows what would have become of Jimmy had he lived. One can only guess. What we do know is that James Dean was one of our most gifted actors. Having made only 3 motion pictures, he was nominated for an Academy Award as Best Actor in 2 of them, East of Eden and Giant.